Welcome everyone to the quarterly dairy legal webinar covering the first quarter of 2025 and focusing on bovine disease controls, federal and Pennsylvania laws and regulations. My name is Audrey Thompson. I'm a staff attorney here at the Penn State Center for Agricultural and Shale Law. Next slide, please. We'd like to thank our partner, the National Agricultural Law Center, for sponsoring this webinar. The National Agricultural Law Center at the University of Arkansas System Division of Agriculture serves as the nation's leading source of agricultural and food law research and information. This material is provided as part of that partnership and is based upon work supported by the National Agricultural Library, Agricultural Research Service, U.S. Department of Agriculture. Next slide, please. This webinar is the 19th program in our Dairy Quarterly Legal Webinar series. Previous webinars have included discussions of federal milk marketing orders, geographical indications in dairy products, risk management, Pennsylvania milk marketing law, state milk pricing and support systems, and many, many, many more. Next slide, please. Recordings and materials from all of those programs are available on our quarterly dairy legal webinar landing page on our website. I just put these links in the chat here. I'll also mention our dairy and dairy products law virtual resource room and our Pennsylvania milk board issue tracker are also valuable resources on our website, and there are links for those pages as well as the event page for this webinar, where you can access the PowerPoint and all of the materials for this webinar. Next slide, please. We encourage you to mark your calendars and register for our upcoming programs. In our Understanding Agricultural Law educational series, we've got Pennsylvania Ag exemptions for inheritance tax and real estate transfers. That'll be next Friday on April 25th. Then next month in May, we've got Migrant and Seasonal Agricultural Worker Protection Act. We'll cover that. And then June 27th, Pennsylvania's Clean and Green Program, County Level Administration. July 25th will be ADA compliance for agritourism operations. And then in August, we'll do foreign agricultural land ownership laws. Those are all on Fridays. They are all at noon Eastern time, and registration is available on the Understanding Agricultural Law landing page or on our events page on our website. Attorney CLE is available for all of those programs. Next slide, please. In this program, the Quarterly Dairy Legal Webinar Series, the next webinar will be on July 15th. And then we will cover the second quarter of 2025, and the focus topic will be the 2025 Federal Milk Marketing Order Reforms. Attorney CLE is also available for that program as well. Next slide, please. And then we've got two programs this summer lined up with our partner, the National Agricultural Law Center. On May 21st, we'll present Navigating ADA Compliance for Agritourism Guests with Center Staff Attorney Jackie Schweikler. And then on June 18th, our director, Ross Piper, will present an overview of state grain dealer statutes in the United States. I will let you know that while the information presented is going to be absolutely outstanding for those programs, unfortunately, Attorney CLE is not available for those programs. And next slide. And finally, one last plug, mark your calendars and save the date for our 2025 Agricultural Law Symposium. That's going to be Thursday, September 18th, in person at Penn State Dickinson Law in University Park. Lunch and refreshments will be provided. There will be 6 Attorney CLE credits available, and more information will be coming for that program on our website, on our events page there. We hope to have registration available for the end of the month there. And next slide, please. And finally, before I turn this webinar over, attorneys, this webinar is being recorded. Yep, I'm double checking there. If you have any questions, please write them in the Q&A feature, and I will collect them and ask them at the end. And we encourage you to fill out the survey at the end of the webinar. Tell us what you liked, where we can improve, what topics you'd like to see. And if you would like to submit this program for free CLE credits to the PA CLE board, we've posted a link to the CLE form in the chat. You need to fill out this link to get your credits. And as part of our responsibility to ensure attendance, we will provide a code word near the end of the program that you must enter into that form to get the credits. I don't think there's anyone on the phone, but if there is, or if you need anything, you can email me at aet17@psu.edu, and I will post the CLE form a couple more times here in the chat. So, all right, I will now turn this program over to Chloe Marie, our research specialist, who will present a roundup of this quarter's dairy legal developments. Chloe, the screen's all yours.
Thank you, Audrey, and welcome everyone. So we will start today with the letters from the USDA, which just published a final rule on federal milk marketing order pricing changes Then we'll shift to the ongoing response to highly pathogenic avian influenza, HPAI. We will look at the expanding national mix testing strategy and the latest on the upcoming HPAI vaccine for dairy cattle. From there, we will turn to the FDA, which just released a draft guidance for low moisture, ready-to-eat foods. We will also touch on some big milk-related headlines, and we will wrap up with 2 international dairy-oriented agreements and USDA restrictions on German animal imports following a recent disease outbreak. So let's get started with the FMMO pricing changes. So marking the end of the years-long reform process, the USDA Agricultural Marketing Service published a final rule on January 17, 2025, amending the pricing provisions in all 11 FMMOs. As a reminder, the USDA initiated the formal review process in August 2023, and the changes received support from at least 2/3 of industry voters. The USDA also released a guidance document outlining implementation timelines. Most changes take effect June 1st, 2025, while updates to skim milk composition factors will be implemented on December 1st, 2025. And more on this in our upcoming quarterly webinar. Now on January 8th, the USDA Animal and Plant Health Inspection Service announced that 15 more states have officially joined the National Milk Testing Strategy. Then just 9 days later, another 6 states signed up. With all these additions, the program now covers about 2/3 of the country's dairy herds, which means it covers nearly 75% of the milk produced in the United States. The National Milk Testing Strategy, or NMTS, kicked off in December 2024 and follows a 5-step plan designed to help keep U.S. dairy cattle free from highly pathogenic avian influenza. States can follow this roadmap to figure out if the virus is in their herds, take action to remove it, and ultimately prove their herds are virus-free. And I have linked to the roadmap here on the slide if you want to take a closer look. And to do all this, the NMTS uses several methods, including testing milk samples from silos at processing plants, state-level herd surveillance, ongoing testing during outbreaks, and mandatory tests for lactating cows when they are moved across state lines. And this requirement comes from federal orders issued in April and December 2024. One key objective is to get a clearer picture of where the virus is showing up. The USDA has an interactive map that shows each state's status. It is updated every Friday on the NMTS webpage. And since January, more states have joined the program, and we're now up to 45 continental states in total. The only continental states not participating now are North Dakota, Florida, and Maine. And actually, on February 24, Minnesota started testing raw cow's milk for HPAI. The state has about 1,600 dairy farms, and each month it will test milk samples collected before pasteurization. If a sample tests positive, the Minnesota Board of Animal Health will collect another one to confirm. If the virus is confirmed, the farm will be quarantined for at least 30 days. No animals, manure, or milk can live without permission. To leave the quarantine, the farm needs 3 negative tests spaced at least a week apart and solid safety measures in place. And finally, on the HPAI topic, on February 25, Elanco announced a partnership with Medgene, a biotech company, to bring a new vaccine to market for highly pathogenic avian influenza in dairy cattle. Elanco highlighted that the cross-species transmission of the virus to nearly 1,000 dairy herds across the US since March 2024, combined with confirmed cases of transmission to humans, is a clear sign that we urgently need more tools to fight the disease. They also noted that the outbreak is already taking a toll, with egg prices going up and milk production dropping in farms where cows have been infected. According to the announcement, Medgene has developed a promising vaccine using a USDA-approved platform, and it is now in the final stages of getting USDA's emergency approval. NN&Co will help manufacture, distribute, and make the vaccine available to dairy producers across the country. Now let's take a look at the new draft guidance the FDA released on January 7, 2025. It has been designed to help manufacturers and processors handling low moisture ready-to-eat foods like powdered infant formula and milk powders. The goal is to support safe and sanitary practices by laying out good manufacturing practices, hazard analysis, and preventive controls. So now let's look at a few recent developments in the world of milk. There has been quite a bit happening lately. On February 25, Brown Foods, a Boston-based startup, made headlines by announcing they were the first company in the world to successfully create lab-made whole cow milk. They say their product, called Unreal Milk, is designed to taste, look, and behave just like traditional cow's milk, but without using any cows, and is not a plant-based milk alternative. It is real milk made using an advanced biotech technique called mammalian cell culture. That means they grow milk, real milk in lab from milk-producing cells, creating all the essential proteins, fats, and sugars you will find in a regular cow's milk. Independent scientists from the Whitehead Institute, affiliated with MIT, confirmed that Unreal Milk contains all the key dairy components, including caseins and whey proteins, as well as the same types of milk, fats, and sugars. And according to Brown Foods, Unreal Milk can even be turned into butter, cheese, and ice cream. And the company plans to let consumers try the milk by the end of 2025, with the market pilot rolling out in 2026. On March 19, Utah Governor Cox signed a new law that addresses how to enforce measures when raw milk is suspected of causing a foodborne illness outbreak. The law defines a foodborne illness outbreak as when 2 or more people from different households get the same illness after eating the same food. Under the new law, the state's Department of Agriculture and Food will establish rules for testing raw milk in third-party labs, particularly when a foodborne illness is suspected. This includes testing for harmful bacteria such as E. coli, Listeria, Salmonella, and Campylobacter, especially when the milk has high bacterial or coliform counts or is linked to an outbreak. If an outbreak is traced to a specific producer, the department can issue a cease and desist order prohibiting the sale of that raw milk. The department must act quickly, collecting samples for lab testing within 2 working days. If the test confirms contamination, the producer may need to take corrective actions, and the cease and desist order could be lifted once health standards are met. If a producer fails to comply with regulations or is linked to a foodborne illness, their permit can be suspended. They can apply to get it back once they have met the required health standards. North Dakota Governor Armstrong also signed a new law on March 24, allowing schools to serve whole milk, 2% milk, and flavored milk to students using bulk milk dispensers. Each district school or an approved nonprofit private school can choose whether or not they want to offer this option. It is not mandatory. It just gives them the authority to allow it through a local policy. And Arkansas, on February 2025, signed a law that makes it possible for farmers to sell raw milk directly to consumers. The law allows small-scale sales of raw goat milk, raw sheep milk, and whole milk, but only if it is sold right from the farm or at a farmer's market or delivered straight from the farm to the buyer. It also allows farmers to advertise these sales. And to finish up, we will take a look at 2 international updates with potential relevance for the US dairy sector. On March 19, 2025, US dairy groups, so the US Dairy Export Council and the National Milk Producers Federation, teamed up with Guatemala's Dairy Development Association by signing a memorandum of understanding to strengthen ties between the 2 countries' dairy industries. The agreement focuses on sharing knowledge, promoting free trade, and working together on specific issues such as sustainability and global dairy standards. A key part of the deal is to defend the use of common food and beverage terms in trade negotiations. This is important because the US is big on keeping certain cheese common terms free from restrictions in global trade, making sure they don't get tied up in regional protections, such as geographical indications, which could limit their use by producers outside specific regions. And finally, starting January 10, 2025, the USDA put special restrictions in place for animals and animal products coming from Germany after foot and mouth disease was detected in water buffalo there. That means you cannot import live animals such as cows, goats, pigs, camels, and hedgehogs if they are coming from or just passing through Germany. When it comes to milk products, the rules depend on how they're processed. Processed milk products can still be brought in as cargo if they come with a USDA permit and or official certification from the German government, proving they meet US safety standards. You can also bring them to your luggage, but only if they're shelf stable or have that same permit or certification. Now, unprocessed milk and milk products, on the other hand, are pretty much off limits. They cannot be brought in cargo unless they're going straight to a USDA approved facility. And right now, they're not any approved for milk. And if you're flying in from Germany, you cannot bring raw milk or soft cheeses in your luggage at all. All right, so that is it for today's dairy roundup developments.